What's up guys, I am Chase here at Rocky Mountain ATV/MC, and this is our off-road and motocross tires 101. So I've got some good news and I've got some bad news for you. The good news is that at Rocky Mountain we have a very big selection of motorcycle tires. And the bad news is, well, at Rocky Mountain we've got a very big selection of motorcycle tires, which means that choosing one, sometimes it can get pretty difficult. You got a lot of things you need to consider, like the type of riding you're gonna be doing, the terrain, tire size, tread design, all these things you gotta factor in. And you gotta remember that not all knobbies are created equal. One tread design might do really well in one application, but might not do so hot in another. So today, I'm gonna give you all the information that you need so that you have the knowledge to pick your next tire with confidence. So the first thing that we're gonna cover is gonna be sizing. Now the size of your tire is gonna be located on the sidewall, and there's two ways that they're gonna measure your tire. You're gonna have metric and you're also gonna have inches, and we're gonna show you both. So on this tire here to my left, you're gonna have three measurements. You're gonna have 120, 80, 19. So the first number is gonna be the width of the tire, the section width. So that's gonna be from sidewall to sidewall. So this tire is 120 millimeters wide. The second number, 80, is gonna be how tall the sidewall is. So, and what it is, they call this the aspect ratio. And what it means is that this tire's sidewall height is 80% of 120, which is roughly 96 millimeters. The last number is 19. This is gonna be in inches, and this is the inside diameter. This is what the rim size that this tire is going to fit on. Now here to my right, this tire is gonna have inches for both measurements. So you're gonna have 4.5 and 18. So 4.5 means that this tire sidewall to sidewall is 4.5 inches wide. Now if you wanted to convert that to millimeters, well, there's 25.4 millimeters per inch. So you times that by 4.5. So this tire is just under 115 millimeters wide. And they're not gonna mention sidewall height with these tires, but the 18 is gonna be your rim diameter in inches as well. Now, a common question that we get asked is, what is the difference between an 18 and a 19-inch tire, and which one should you go with? Well, one thing I do want to point out before I talk about that is you got to remember that an 18 and 19-inch tire, the outside diameter is going to be the same. The difference is going to be in the sidewall height. So an 18-inch tire is going to have a taller sidewall, and the reason this is popular for off-road and trail riding is that taller sidewall is going to flex a little bit more. It's going to be more forgiving in that really rough and rocky terrain. It's also going to help prevent pinch flats. So that's really why most off-road riders and trail riders like to go with an 18-inch tire. But again, that decision really just going to be up to the rider and the type of riding and terrain that you're going to be riding in. Now there are a few more things that I do want to point out you are going to find on the sidewall of your tire. If your tire is DOT rated, means it's street legal, they're going to have that stamped on the side. So you can see right here it says DOT, or it might say DOT approved. A lot of off-road tires will say not intended for highway use, so if you're wondering, look at your sidewall or look at the product copy. That will tell you if your tire is street legal or not. Another cool thing is if you want to know when your tire was made, they will actually have a stamp on the sidewall of the tire, and this can actually show you when your tire was made. So right here on this tire, you can see two numbers, 10 and 17. So what this means is that this tire was made in the 10th week of 2017. So there's a couple more things that I want to cover real quick. And the first is you want to make sure that you know if your tire is directional or not. A lot of tires are actually intended to be mounted and rotate in a certain direction. Now to know, it's very simple. Just look at the sidewall. A lot of times there'll be an indicator or an arrow telling you what direction you should mount your tire. Now I do have one more tip that I want to share with you guys. Now certain manufacturers, you will notice on the sidewall of their tires, like this Dunlop, you have this little circle. A lot of people ask, well, what is that for? Well, what this circle means is that when they manufactured this tire, this is the lightest part of the tire. And what they recommend is when you're mounting this up, that you either install the tube stem or the rim lock right where the circle is, and that's going to help balance out the tire. So the next thing we're going to talk about is specific tire types and the tread designs that go along with those. Now when it comes to your off-road and your motocross tires, you're going to have three main tread designs. You're going to have soft, intermediate or medium, and you're going to have hard terrain. So we're going to talk about each one individually. So the soft terrain tire, you can see I've got the Starcross 5 from Michelin. The lugs are going to be a little bit taller and they're going to be more spread out. And the reason being is you want this to dig into that sand or that mud as deep as possible to give good drive. And the reason they're more spread out is to help promote self-cleaning. You don't want mud or sand to pack in between the lugs, so that promotes the tire to stay clean. Now a cool feature about the Starcross 5 is you can actually see it has these mud-phobic bars between the center lugs. Those are actually designed to help promote even more self-cleaning. Now one thing you don't want to confuse is soft terrain with soft rubber, okay? Typically, soft terrain tires are actually going to use a harder rubber compound to help dig in and give more drive. So you wouldn't want to take a soft terrain tire and go out to hard pack area or maybe rocky conditions. You have a really good chance of tearing your knobs, or what people like to call chunking. Now on the opposite end of the spectrum, you're going to have a hard terrain tire. So hard terrain tire is going to be just the opposite. It's going to utilize a little bit softer rubber compound, so that's going to be a little more grip for those hard rocky situations. And the tread design is going to be closer together because you want to have as much rubber contacting the ground as possible. Now right smack dab in the middle of that, you're going to have your medium terrain tires. So medium terrain tires are really going to be the more common choice, the most popular tread design, because they're going to perform well in most conditions. So if you're wondering what tread design should you go with, what's going to be the best for a wide variety of conditions, well, I would go with a medium or intermediate tire. Now over here to my right, if you're a desert rider, we actually sell desert specific tires like this Maxxis Cross Desert. The reason this is desert specific is because they use a specific rubber compound in a stiffer sidewall to give really good durability when you're in that really rough, nasty, and rocky terrain. So now we're going to cover a few specialty tires, and the first one is going to be a trials tire. Now trials tires were designed to give as much grip as possible on hard and slick surfaces. The way they do that, well, they utilize a very soft and very grippy rubber compound. You can see the tread design is very close together to give a nice big contact patch, and they utilize a softer sidewall to give a little bit more flex to the tire. Now trials tires have actually become very popular for trail riding because of how much grip they have. However, if you're a more aggressive rider, you're probably going to notice that they do come up a bit short in the cornering and the braking aspect. And that leads us into our next specialty tire, which is a hybrid. So a hybrid tire takes the best characteristics of an off-road knobby and a trials tire, and they blend the two together. So you can see with these, a much more aggressive tread design, so better braking, better cornering, but they still utilize a very soft rubber compound to give you that grip that you're looking for. So the last two types of tires that we're going to talk about are both going to be sand specific. And the first one is going to be all the way at the end, and this is going to be a paddle tire. So these are specific for riders who want to go out and hit up the dunes. You can see they have large scoops on them that's going to give good drive, good traction in that soft and deep sand. Now you definitely don't want to take one of these tires and go out to any hard or rocky terrain. You are going to rip these tires up and they are not going to last very long. But right next to that is what we call a sand hybrid. Now this is the type of tire that you can see professional motocross riders using for tracks like Southwick. Now what's great about these tires, you can see the tread design has a scoop shape to it, so you're going to get good drive in the sand, but you're still going to have nice aggressive knobs on the side, so you're still going to get good cornering characteristics. So this tire is actually very popular if you want to ride in the sandy track one day and then go out to the dunes the next. It's going to perform well in both of those conditions. So the last thing that we're going to cover is going to be tire pressure. Now, once you found the tire that you feel is going to be best for you, you got to remember that tire pressure is crucial to get the most performance out of your tire. So make sure, look at your owner's manual. That's going to give you recommendations for PSI. And you also got to take into consideration, it's going to be very dependent on the terrain and the bike that you are riding. Now, generally, for motocross and off-road tires, you're going to be anywhere from 12 to 15 PSI. Run a little bit less if you want more flex and more traction, and run a little bit more if you want to help prevent pinch flats and possible damage from the rough and rocky terrain. Now, if you are wondering what are the best ways to prevent pinch flats and flats altogether, well, we have a really cool video where we show you the best alternatives, so make sure you check that out. And do not forget, it is crucial, make sure you check the PSI in your tires before you go on every ride. But there it is. That is our off-road and motocross tires 101. So now that you guys have the knowledge, make sure you head over to our website at RockyMountain-ATVMC.com to pick up your next set of tires today. And do not forget, if you have questions, comment below, give us a call, chat live online, or you can ask questions directly on the product page, and we will get your questions answered. And as always, guys, orders over $75 are going to ship free. I'm Chase here at Rocky Mountain, and we'll see you on the trails.